The anime community wasn't always about which series of the season was the most relevant. There was a time when we just cared about getting a new anime series to watch at all. As someone who started watching anime at a time when the animation was overly saturated or not as well made, I still think the classics are better than the new generation animes. It is really thanks to new technology that new gen anime can look so good, which is why there are so many remakes that fail to meet the standards that were already established by the classics. Anime from before was just built differently. Everyone that is old school will fondly remember that anime was considered a weird hobby. But now that times have changed, anime is widely appreciated. Although classics built the very foundation of the anime community, there are some things that these old school series excelled in but also did really poorly in. Back then, anime series took their time to develop their plot and didn't have a pause in between the seasons. Nowadays, we have to wait patiently for a next season, which will probably happen in around 2 to 3 years. By then, the plot is usually forgotten by the large majority and the series has lost most of its charms. Trends are the biggest dictation of modern anime, so once a trend is set, there will be a lot more that will follow. It doesn't matter whether it's good or not, it just seems that once a trend is set, you can guarantee that the next few seasons of anime will include at least one of these. The classics do require a certain amount of intelligence to understand, but majority of it is simple enough for the average consumer. Although you may not understand it at first, you will eventually get it, or even if you don't get it at all, they are very interesting to watch. Even though it is very difficult to fully compare the old generation anime with the modern ones, it is clear that there are challenges when watching the classics of any type of media. There was seriously a whole lot of filler episodes back in the day, and it took a large amount of patience to get through all of them. It is not easy to sit through 20-ish episodes of randomness just to get to the actual plot. This is something the modern animes have actually improved on. The audio quality of classics was not as great either and can sound choppy, echoey, and sometimes even pick up background noise. I still remember the times where I had to whack my VCR machine. If you guys don't know what the VCR machine looks like, here is an image of it, thinking that it was the machine's fault when in fact, it was the audio quality. It's also really difficult to say this, but classic anime fans can be toxic. But I guess this goes for any kind of community. They can be judgmental and pretentious. It's the vocal minorities who cause this bad rap, even though the majority are very sweet and even supportive. If you're just peacefully enjoying a series, not being able to have a good discussion ruins the experience altogether. It's just a bad rap that prevents a lot of people from checking the classics out. Today's anime is actually much better at developing its characters, especially their female characters compared to the older series. There was just a needless amount of hypersexualization and underdevelopment of its characters. It made it seem as though the plot of the series was only to attract certain kinds of individuals rather than provide an actual storyline to the whole audience. It's not just this that we see. The portrayal of toxic relationships combined with everything else made early animes to be a deal breaker for incredible series too. This did create a legacy of toxic trends that can even be seen in new series. I also admit that the classics did not age well in regards to the animation and themes. Because the classics were done by previous generations of trends and technologies, newer generations can find it difficult to watch. Age is a demographic that largely determines the success of any series. Since trends are determined by their time periods, it will not be understood by new audiences, especially since technology back then was not as advanced. And so, poor animation and lack of relevance to audiences will not do well, which is why it was so important for anime to evolve with the times. It's just that sometimes not everything can be changed for the better. Although streaming services are widely available nowadays, filled with high-quality sound and definition, it is extremely difficult to find classics back to a certain time. This means you would have to get physical copies, and to access these physical copies, you would have to get the machine to actually play it. And that is a whole different problem. So for anyone who is looking for more obscure anime series from back then, it would be like finding Waldo in the hardest setting. There are iconic standalone series that was only featured as an OVA or one-season adaptations that never got to see their much-deserved continuations. I am personally waiting for this day to happen too, along with my fellow classic anime lovers, even if a sequel seems near impossible. After watching classics, you would feel that everything was done before even if it was only popularized now. For example, isekai is not just modern and unexpected. It started from the classics and did not become a trend until the modern era. However, there are some series that have taken complex to a whole new level, like the dark and mature take on magical girls that did not have to rely on classic reboots like Madoka Magica and Wonder Egg Priority. I do admit that the main reason why I prefer classics is the nostalgia I get when I watch it. I also remember watching the series in which current anime was built on. These were Cardcaptor Sakura, Sailor Moon, Fushigi Yugi, Fruits Basket, Yu Yu Hakusho, Giant Robo, Princess Mononoke, and so much more that people of these generations remember because it was that memorable. But there are also times when classic series fail to recreate the magic of anime, such as predictable silly plots, poor character development, and the fillers. Oh god, the fillers. While nostalgia is part of the perk of watching classic anime series, it's not the best way to revisit a series. Today's anime is much more well-paced and developed due to the availability of source materials, so fans do not have to sit through countless fillers, drawn-out arcs, sexualization of female characters, poor animation, poor sound quality, and can enjoy a series that is well-paced, have a concise plot with good animation. Unfortunately, there are a lot of series that did not age well, but there are plenty that have. It's also difficult to determine what constitutes as a classic. Some say a true classic are the series from before the 90s or has a tremendous cultural effect, but this term is still very much blurred and vague, causing the ongoing debate of what is truly a classic anime series. My opinion on the matter on classics is that it must have recognizable value. Whether it's the series that started the noticeable shonen, shoujo, slice of life, or supernatural genre, or is just outright strange. I think there is a specific reason why these older anime series remain so memorable. It is the life lessons that we learned from these anime series that have shaped the very being of what we are. It was about seeing a whole different universe that allows us to put ourselves into a whole other world where we don't have to think about the harshness of reality. Being able to put ourselves in the shoes of these characters means we can become someone else for just a little while, letting us indulge in something that can't hurt us. No matter how much time has passed and how far anime has advanced, the classics remain special to many as they are the things that gave the anime community a meaning to life. Anime will continue to evolve, and shows that are popular today will one day join the ranks as an old school classic like it had before. Classic series will always remain. Nothing can ever compare to the nostalgia along with the magic one feels when watching these old school shows.